Gavin Newsom does all his videos and his vlogs and his address to the nation. I was like, do one good thing for taxpayers in California and then go after Trump. One piece of legislation or one move that would help your average Californian taxpayer, and then you can assassinate Trump verbally. But Gavin Newsom's a sociopath. I don't think people really fully understand who that guy is and who that guy isn't. He is nothing.
Comedian and podcast host Adam Carolla has once again stepped into the political spotlight, delivering a blunt critique of California Governor Gavin Newsom. According to Carolla, the governor spends a lot of time producing polished videos, speeches, and national messages, yet fails to deliver meaningful improvements for everyday taxpayers in California. Carolla argues that before attacking national figures like Donald Trump, Newsom should first demonstrate at least one major policy achievement that clearly benefits the average Californian.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families, have no access to a checking account or an ATM. Things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
And well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't. And where do they
why do
end up?
Armenians have them?
But where they end up is in check cashing places.
But I want to know why those groups. Why those two groups don't have access?
Well, a lot of. Just happens to be that. We can
so
talk
they're
about
flawed?
This. No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically
Folks are making
flawed.
their word. Hardly, not absolutely.
But okay,
not.
Do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have. A lot of whites have these problems.
Oh,
but
so that's not just black and Hispanic.
No, but
why did you bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be the magnitude.
That's the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to them?
There are a lot of issues, and that the communities are struggling. A lot
why
of new
are they
immigrants.
Struggling?
A lot of different reasons.
Speculation is already growing that Gavin Newsom may be quietly preparing for a future presidential run. If that move becomes official, critics believe his record in California will come under intense scrutiny. Voices like Adam Carolla argue that the state's ongoing challenges could become a preview of what a Newsom presidency might look like. Rising frustration over taxes, homelessness, and economic pressures are now part of a broader national conversation about leadership and accountability.
Say right after this interview was done, what did he tell you?
He's Teflon. He doesn't care. He's a sociopath. So he doesn't, it's like, did you feel bad after you killed your wife and her family? Like, no, I'm a sociopath. You know what I mean? I had wings.
How could I do this?
Yeah, he's a sociopath. He does not. You have to be a sociopath to answer questions that way, because I asked him 17 different times what is going on with these groups that they don't have access to checking accounts, which, by the way, is BS. I mean, the notion that half the black and Hispanics, California is half Hispanic. Do you know how many people wouldn't have access to a checking account if half of them? So he gets out of the gate with BS. Like, he just lies.
Carolla often points back to a heated exchange he had with Newsom more than a decade ago. During the discussion, Newsom cited statistics about certain communities lacking access to basic financial tools like bank accounts or ATMs. But when Carolla pressed him for specific explanations and solutions, the conversation began to shift. Instead of providing direct answers, Newsom offered broader statements about systemic challenges and economic struggles.
This is not what you want in a leader. If I came, because he presented a problem. So if I came in to your home and I said, you got a big termite problem in this house, and then you went, how do we eradicate it? And I go, it just is. You know, and then you go, I know, but I want to fix it. How do we fix this problem? That's just the way it is. And then you go, but how do we get the termites out of the house? I go, a lot of houses have termites. And you keep asking the person, they won't provide an answer. It's his job to fix this stuff. Okay, you're in charge of California, and half the black and Hispanics don't have access to checking accounts. What's your plan? His answer, nothing. He just wanted.
To Carolla, that moment revealed something important about Newsom's political style. He believes the governor focuses heavily on shaping narratives and projecting compassion rather than delivering concrete solutions. According to Carolla, leadership should ultimately be measured by results. If the outcomes on the ground don't match the messaging, it raises serious questions about priorities and whether real progress is actually being made.
Governor, why did you shut the beaches in California during COVID?
Yeah, I think we all were working on information at the time. We had no basis of deeply understanding the virus. I think they did the same thing.
So you didn't know anything, so why'd you shut the beaches?
States like Florida.
If you didn't know anything, why'd you shut the beaches?
Well, we didn't know. Yeah, because people were concerned early in the pandemic. Information was coming out as it relates to how it was transferred, the disease, and people were cautious, trying to keep people alive. And I should say this,
so
Adam,
you didn't let them go in the sunshine and get vitamin
California
D
outperformed.
and exercise, so you shut the beaches. Okay. And you arrested a guy who was paddleboarding in the bay.
Health, wealth.
Carolla also argued that when politicians present major problems without offering practical solutions, it creates frustration among voters. He compared it to a contractor pointing out a termite infestation in a house but refusing to explain how to fix it. Identifying problems is only the first step. True leadership, Carolla says, requires clear plans and measurable actions that actually solve those problems.
How much have things gotten better or worse while Newsom's been your governor? Have you seen at least something getting better?
I can't think of anything. I'm trying not to use too much hyperbole here. The stuff you see is homelessness. And the other thing that's you see in California, which is sort of counterintuitive, is garbage. Lots of garbage, lots of graffiti, lots of filth. Just filth. And it's weird because California, Golden State, and all that kind of stuff, beaches and sunshine and everything. The major cities are dirty. Really dirty. It's homeless and just garbage and graffiti and sort of blight and filth everywhere, which is weird and depressing. And of course, gas is, $5.50 a gallon with the worst roads.
Another moment of tension between Carolla and Newsom came during discussions about California's COVID-era policies. Carolla questioned the decision to close beaches while other states kept outdoor spaces open. Newsom defended the move by saying officials were acting on the limited information available at the time. But critics like Carolla argued that the decisions lacked consistent logic, especially since outdoor environments were generally considered lower risk.
Gavin Newsom does all his videos and his vlogs and his address to the nation. I was like, do one good thing for taxpayers in California and then go after Trump. One piece of legislation or one move that would help your average California taxpayer, and then you can assassinate Trump verbally. But Gavin Newsom's a sociopath. I don't think people really fully understand who that guy is and who that guy isn't. He is nothing.
Beyond individual policy debates, Carolla says what concerns him most is the overall direction of California's major cities. He points to rising homelessness, visible garbage, graffiti, and deteriorating public spaces as signs of deeper structural problems. For a state once celebrated as the Golden State, these changes have led some critics to question whether leadership has kept pace with the challenges facing residents.
Talk about trans rights and sports if he's in one setting and then say it's unfair in another setting. I don't think people fully understand who that guy is. I sat in a room with him for an hour and tried to talk to him, and there's nothing there. And the idea that he has designs on, sort of global domination is insane, because he's basically he's like a guy who runs the world's worst taco stand. He makes the worst tacos.
Carolla has also criticized what he describes as California's heavy regulatory environment. In his view, strict regulations, high taxes, and complex policies are pushing businesses to reconsider operating in the state. He frequently points to energy companies and other industries that have reduced operations or moved elsewhere. According to Carolla, when businesses begin leaving, it raises concerns about long-term job growth, investment, and economic stability.
I always tell he's full of shit when he does his damn and hell. Like, these damn people come here to work hard. Hell, I don't care what I sound like right now. Hot damn. When he says damn and hell, that's his false sort of he does a feigned outrage thing. People would say the same about Trump. They go, he's a sociopath, he's whatever. Okay, all granted, but Trump always talks about taxes and border, the economy, and gas prices and stuff like that. If I heard Newsom go, gas prices in California are way too high, I got to bring them down. I don't care what it's going to take. I'm going to do it. Then I would go, well, all right, well, the sociopath makes a point. But he never says that. He blames the oil companies. And it turns out it's not the oil companies gouging us. It's your overregulated.
Taken together, Adam Carolla's critique paints a harsh picture of Gavin Newsom's leadership. From communication style to policy outcomes, Carolla argues that California serves as a real-world test of how leadership works in practice. Whether people agree with him or not, the debate surrounding Newsom's record is growing louder, especially as speculation about a future presidential run continues. For critics and supporters alike, the question remains the same. Do the results match the promises?